Suzanne Greenberg takes an early lead, showcasing some impressive speed. Pia Petum is right on her tail, jockeying for position. Meanwhile, Maya is holding strong in third, looking for any opportunity to capitalize on a mistake ahead. Let's see if Suzanne can maintain that edge as they head into the first turn. Issy, 12-12, has made a significant move, climbing up to power by overtaking 26 cars in rapid succession. Meanwhile, Maya is experiencing difficulties, dropping 19 positions to P23. In the battle for the front, deplorably poor from Team Live for Speed has successfully overtaken Perpetuum and now holds P22Y. Red Panama is now in P13, after successfully overtaking Wazirius Guy. Rizaldi Ada has gained a position as well, moving up to P18 by getting past N29 Kigotaye. Stay Storm BJ has made a notable advancement to P34, overtaking Zygo 2220. The race continues to see some strategic maneuvers. Lobardo in the Holden Commodore GTS 9 is currently battling it out with Funny Shell Gaming in the Ford Mustang GT 15 for 15th position. They're neck and neck, with Bobardo slightly ahead as they approach the final turn. Meanwhile, Estforn B-Stay is in a fierce contest with Obiluxa Max for 33rd position. Steve Forn BJ is piloting the Ford Falcon FGX X-Rate 15, while Obiluxa Max navigates in the Honda's 2000. Steve Forn BJ just executed a clean overtake on Obiluxa Max, moving ahead in this battle. The dynamics between these pairs are heating up as they jockey for their respective positions on the track. Sir Ironbot is currently in a fierce battle for P9 with Koki Binety. Sir Ironbot, in the Pontiac Gate GXP, is trying to fend off Koki Binety, who's in the Maserati Ghibli S. The two cars are closely matched as they approach a tight corner. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle has made a notable gain, moving up to P21, after successfully overtaking Kazusha. In another move, Jasak 72 has progressed to P30, overtaking Arayu Serial in the process. The race is becoming increasingly competitive as positions change hands. Issy 1212 has dropped significantly, now positioned at P26, after falling back 23 spots. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg has successfully overtaken Wayne Tren 94, securing P3. Wayne Tren 94 responded well, reclaiming power by overtaking 1999 September 2. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly as positions continue to change. Stefan BHA has successfully moved up to P29 after overtaking V4L3. The maneuver was executed smoothly on the inside line, showing good control and timing. V4L3 is now in P30, while the other drivers continue to hold their positions ahead. N29 Kia in the Mercedes-Benz Kyoko 55 AMG is currently holding off the gentleman who is driving the Ford Falcon FGX X-Rate 15. They are locked in a tight battle for position 17. N29 Kia has just taken a defensive line into the last corner, maintaining his spot on the track. The gentleman is looking for an opportunity to overtake as they approach the main straight. He's gaining ground on N29 Kia, but N29 Kia is quick to react, keeping his car positioned well. The gap remains minimal as they head into the next turn. Sirarimbot is currently holding on to Pate in the Pontiac Gate GXB, closely pursued by Cat TV in the Chrysler 300 Tate 14. The gap between them is minimal, indicating a fierce battle for position. Meanwhile, Cat TV is not just focused on Sirarimbot, they are also engaged in a fight for P9 with Koki Boninity, who is behind the wheel of a Maserati GLS. The competition is tight, as both drivers push their limits. As we continue to monitor these positions, the dynamics are certainly heating up in this segment of the race. Red Panama has encountered issues, dropping back 10 positions to P23. Meanwhile, Garnet Rod is making a strong charge, overtaking 4 cars and advancing to P25 at Twisted Twat. On the other hand, Wazirius Guy from Team No Name Racing is struggling, falling 16 positions down to P31. Garnet Rod is currently in 5th place, making significant progress as he closes the gap to Butchazira, who is holding on to 4th. The distance has decreased by 2 seconds, indicating that Garnet Rod is gaining speed on the straights. Meanwhile, in 3rd, we have Speedster, who appears to be maintaining a consistent pace, but is not under immediate threat from either of these drivers. In 1st and 2nd positions, Apex Hunter and Turbo Flash continue to battle it out, with Apex Hunter just a half second ahead. The race dynamics are tightening up as we approach the next corner. Rizaldi Adha has advanced to 11th position, successfully overtaking Cat TV. Meanwhile, there's a close battle for 24th place between Butchie Zero from Team Quark Express in a Vauxhall VX220 Turbo and Garnet Rod, driving a Maserati Iblis. The two cars are neck and neck as they navigate the track, showcasing their speed and handling capabilities. Range 94 has successfully moved into P2 after overtaking Perpetuum. Meanwhile, Red Panama and Garnet Rod are locked in a close battle for P23. Red Panama is navigating the track in a Pontiac Firebird Transom Zero, while Garnet Rod is piloting a Maserati Ghibli S. The tension is palpable as they jockey for position. Cat TV has made a significant move, gaining 4 positions and now sitting in P8. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha is struggling, dropping 22 spots down to P33. Perpetuum is also experiencing difficulties, having fallen 27 positions, and currently in P34. Perpetuum is currently in P2, reducing the gap to Zyga 22 by 403.5 seconds. In P9, Cat TV and Funny Shell Gaming are locked in a tight battle, with Cat TV in a Chrysler 300 Tate 14 and Funny Shell Gaming in a Ford Mustang GT15. Jesek72 has made a notable move, advancing to P23 after successfully overtaking Botjaizera. Arios Curry is currently in P29, after successfully overtaking Saigo 22. Zota 22 has dropped to P30, but has managed to re-overtake Red Panama, moving back up to P30. The positions are shifting quickly as the drivers jockey for better placements in this competitive race. Cat TV in the Chrysler 300 Tate 14 is holding off Funnier Shell Gaming in the Ford Mustang GT15 as they approach the hairpin turn. Cat TV is maintaining a defensive line, while Funnier Shell Gaming is looking for an opportunity to overtake. They are neck and neck entering the corner, with Funnier Shell Gaming attempting a late brake maneuver on the inside. Cat TV manages to hold position, but Funnier Shell Gaming isn't giving up, sticking close and trying to set up for a better exit. As they accelerate out of the turn, Funnier Shell Gaming edges ahead slightly, but Cat TV is right on their tail. They're heading into a straight now, and it looks like Funnier Shell Gaming has gained a bit more speed. Funnier Shell Gaming pulls alongside Cat TV and takes the lead as they cross the start-finish line, claiming P9. Cat TV will need to regroup and strategize to reclaim that position. Koki Beninity is now just 2.2 seconds behind my Stonedrex, showing significant pace as they approach the next corner. Meanwhile, Funnier Shell Gaming has successfully overtaken Sir Ironbot and has moved up to 8th place. Red Panama is also making strides, closing the gap to Zygo 22 by 4.6 seconds as they continue to battle for position. P4 All-Terrain. A has gained a position, moving up to P24 after successfully overtaking Greninja. Meanwhile, Greninja has also made a maneuver, moving up to P25 by overtaking Obelixamax Datar. The positions are shifting as the race progresses. Here Petrum has successfully moved up to P31 after overtaking New Cambokamtown. The maneuver was clean, showcasing solid acceleration and precise steering. Meanwhile, the cars ahead are maintaining their positions, with no significant changes in the top 10. The race dynamics remain steady as the drivers continue to strategize for the next opportunities. Just Jazik has taken a defensive line in the Vauxhall VX220 Turbo, as Lord of the Jungle in the Ford Mustang GT15 attempts to make a move on the inside. They are side by side entering the tight left-hander. Just Jazik maintains position, but Lord of the Jungle is applying pressure. As they exit the corner, it looks like Lord of the Jungle has managed to get alongside. Now heading down the straight, Lord of the Jungle pulls ahead slightly, but Just Jazik is drafting off him. They approach the next corner, and Just Jazik dives for the inside again, reclaiming P18 with a late braking maneuver. The battle continues as they exit the corner, still nose to tail. The tension remains high as they enter the next sector, both cars showing impressive handling. Just Jazik is holding on for now, but Lord of the Jungle is not giving up easily. The car in Pate, Bunny Shell Gaming, has successfully overtaken Sirarambot, and is now making a strong bid for the top spots. Meanwhile, Okayoki 3 from Team Racing Potatoes has gained ground, moving up to P13 after passing the gentleman. Katsushok is also making progress, reducing the gap to the gentleman by 2.9 seconds, indicating a potential challenge ahead. Here Paytum is now just 2.7 seconds behind Zygo 22, steadily closing the gap. The tension between these two drivers is increasing as they navigate through the tight corners. Meanwhile, Apex Hunter has made a successful overtake on Turbo Trekker, moving up into 4th place. Turbo Trekker is trying to regain position, but is struggling to keep up with Apex Hunter's pace. In the back, Drift King is having difficulty maintaining speed after a minor collision with the barrier, dropping further behind the pack. Red Panama has advanced to P26 after successfully overtaking Oberlixamax. Pierre Petum is actively closing the gap on Zygo 22 from Team Vanguard, reducing the distance by 3 seconds. Pierre Petum is currently 2.1 seconds behind Zygoto 22, significantly reducing the gap as they approach the hairpin turn. Meanwhile, Apex Hunter is maintaining a stable distance in 3rd place, while Turbobot has just executed a successful overtake on Speed Stux, moving into 4th position. The dynamics are tightening up as we head into the next lap, with Pierre Petum clearly gaining momentum. Est4 and BJ has successfully moved up to P19, completing an overtake on Just Jazik. Both drivers from Team S1 were engaged in a close battle, with Est4 and BZ piloting a Ford Falcon FGX 850 and Joyjate in a Vauxhall VX220. Turbo were on. In another part of the race, Arayu Serial and Zygoto 22 are locked in a duel for P28. Arayu Serial is behind the wheel of an RDTT 3.2 Quattro 8, while Zygoto 22 is driving a Honda Integra Type R2. The competition remains tight as they approach the next corner. Jasak 72 has just made a significant move, advancing to P19 by overtaking Just Jazik from Team S1. Just Jazik, in a Vauxhall VX220 Turbo, is currently engaged in a tight battle with Est4 and BSA, who is driving a Ford Falcon FGX 6 Rate 15 for P20. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is actively closing the gap on Zygo 22, reducing the distance by 3.7 seconds. The dynamics of the race are shifting as these cars jockey for position. Greenyep has successfully moved up to P24 after overtaking Red Panama China. In response, Red Panama has advanced to P25 by overtaking Zestiforn BZJ. Meanwhile, Obelix Amax is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Estiforn BZJ by 4.5 seconds, and looking poised for an overtaking opportunity. The dynamics are shifting as positions change in quick succession. Jasek 72 is closing in on Amy, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Red Panama has successfully moved up to position 24 after overtaking Grenadier from team also No Name Racing. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is also making a move, narrowing the distance to Arayu Serial by 2.6 seconds. Hoyday successfully overtaken Depora and has now secured the P3 position. Meanwhile, Kokibininity has advanced to 6 after a clean overtake of Miss Stonedrix. In the background, Funnier Shell Gaming is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Miss Stonedrix by 3.8 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for the position ahead. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push their limits. Kasishuk has made significant progress, advancing to Plymouth after overtaking 4 cars in quick succession. Suzanne Greenberg has also gained ground, now occupying 7 after successfully passing Sirarimbot. Meanwhile, Sirarimbot from Team Death Robots has countered by moving up to Pate, getting ahead of Babardo. The positions are shifting rapidly as the race continues. Naiba has advanced to P20 after successfully overtaking OKOP3. Meanwhile, Red Panama has gained a position, now in P23 after passing B43 in AVA. In the battle for position, Est4 and BAJ is closing in on Grenadier, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions change. Stafford Beige has successfully moved up to P25, overtaking Grenadier in a close battle. Both drivers are from Team Also No Name Racing, with Est4 BJ piloting a Ford Falcon FGX Iterate Fixrate 15 and Brindley B in the Mercedes-Benz Kyoko 55 AMG. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is narrowing the gap to Areu Serial, reducing it by 2.3 seconds as they push forward. Hugger 3 from Team Nafgum Kings has successfully moved into P2, completing an overtake on Wayne Trinity 4. The battle for P11 is heating up, with Kazashuk in the BMW M3 F46 closely contesting N29 Kia in the Mercedes-Benz TLK55 A&G. Both drivers are pushing hard, showcasing some competitive driving as they jostle for position. Perpetuum is indeed closing the gap on Areu Serial, now just 44.7 seconds behind. Koki Beninity has successfully moved into P3, after overtaking 1990-99 said Timbro. Suzanne Greenbeck has also made progress, advancing to 5 by getting past Funnier Shell Gaming. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change swiftly. Funnier Shell Gaming is now just 16.9 seconds behind with Stonedrex, steadily closing the gap. Amy has made significant progress, overtaking 4 cars and positioning herself in P9. Not far behind, Jasak 72 also moved up, completing 4 successful overtakes to secure P10. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers gain momentum. N29 Key, from Team Also No Name Racing, has reduced the gap to Okayoki 3 by 30.5 seconds, showing impressive pace. Meanwhile, Bobilik Samax is significantly closing in on Wayne Train 94, now just 578.6 seconds behind. The battle for P12 is intensifying as Just Jazik in the Vauxhall VX2. 120. Turbo is locked in a tight contest with Cat TV, who is driving the Chrysler 300 Citate 14. Both drivers are pushing hard as they fight for position. Briniep has significantly reduced the gap to Zyga 22, now down to 17.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Areu Serial is making slow progress on Waintra 94, but the gap remains quite large at 510.3 seconds. Greening Jib's push against Zyga 22 is notable as they continue to close in on Team Vanguard's position. Suzanne Greenberg is making significant progress, reducing her gap to Koki Binanity by 8.8 seconds. Perpetuum is also in pursuit, though the distance to Wayne Train 94 is still substantial at 556 seconds. In a notable move, 1999 September has successfully overtaken Huggard 3, and is now positioned in P22. Miss Stoendrix has advanced to 6 after a successful overtake on Funya Shell Gaming. In response, Funya Shell Gaming from Bolt Bucket Motorsports has pushed back, moving up to 7 by overtaking Koki Beninity. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is gaining ground on Arrayo Serial, reducing the gap by 3.3 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as positions change rapidly on the track. Red Panama has made significant progress, moving up to 14 after overtaking 4 cars in quick succession. Just Jazik faced difficulties, dropping 7 positions and now sits at P19. Meanwhile, Sir Ironbot is actively closing in on Koki Binanity, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Still on BDJ is now in 17th position after successfully overtaking Jasak 72, who has dropped to 18. In a quick maneuver, Jasak 72 has also passed me, moving up to 18th while I'm now in 19. Meanwhile, I managed to overtake Jazik, securing my current position. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly as these positions change. One serious guy is currently in pursuit of Wayne Train 94, significantly closing the gap by 427.8 seconds. Zygerp 22 from Team Vanguard has advanced to P24 after successfully overtaking Greninjeb. Meanwhile, Greninjeb has retaliated, moving up to P25 by overtaking V43 in AA. The positions are shifting as the race progresses. Arrayo Serial has significantly reduced the gap to V4L3 in A, now down to 46.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is also making moves, closing in on Arrayo Serial with a reduction of 2.4 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as these 3 cars showcase their competitive pace. Miss Stoendrix has significantly closed the gap to Barbado from Team Blast, reducing it by 9.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Zygo 22 from Team Vanguard and Greninjeb are locked in a competitive battle for 24th position. Zygo 22 is driving a Honda Integra Type R2, while Greninjeb is behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz Chiokil 55 AMG. The dynamics between these two are tight as they jostle for position on the track. Gap TV is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Bilbardo by 48.2 seconds. Meanwhile, N29P has successfully moved up to 13 after overtaking Red Panama. Matt. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change on the track. Car Jasak 72 has successfully moved up to position 17, executing an overtake on Amy. In response, Amy has advanced to position 18, overtaking Red Panama. Positions are shifting as the race continues. Just a moment ago, Red Panama has made impressive progress, closing the gap to Just Jazik by 11.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Naibe is also gaining on Red Panama, reducing that distance by 45.2 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as Red Panama continues to pursue Just Jazik. The Alfreen A has successfully moved into 25th position after overtaking the Zygote 22. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Array Serial by 2.8 seconds. The dynamics in the mid-pack are heating up. Arayu Serial is making significant progress, closing the gap to Zygote 22 by 5.3 seconds, indicating a possible upcoming challenge for position. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg has successfully advanced to P3 after overtaking Huggood 3, showcasing strong racecraft. The dynamics are shifting as Arayu Serial continues to pressure Zygote 22 players. Perpetuum is indeed making significant progress, reducing the gap to Arayu Serial to just 2.1 seconds. The pace has picked up as they head into the next corner. Meanwhile, in the back, Turbotorque has overtaken Speedy Gonzalez for 6th place, showcasing impressive acceleration on the straight. Up front, Arayu Serial is feeling the pressure as Perpetuum continues to gain ground. The dynamics are shifting as we approach the halfway point of the race. N29 Pia is now just 2.6 seconds behind the gentleman, making significant progress. Meanwhile, Greningeb is also gaining on Obelix Somax, reducing the gap to 2.2 seconds. In the lower ranks, Rizaldi Adha has successfully overtaken Kazashuk, advancing to P31. The dynamics are shifting as these drivers push forward. Here Petuum has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Arayu's serial by 3.6 seconds. The AI-driven car is showing impressive speed and strategy. Meanwhile, in the mid-pack, we see a fierce battle as two cars are neck and neck, with no clear advantage. Keep an eye on the tire strategies. Some cars are starting to show signs of wear. As they approach the next turn, overtaking opportunities could arise. Here Petuum is now at a distance of 3.9 seconds behind Arayu's serial, making significant progress as the race continues. The gap is narrowing steadily. Meanwhile, in the middle of the pack, Sportscars has overtaken Turbotor, moving up to 5th position. It looks like there's a bit of a battle brewing between them. In the front, Arayu's serial maintains a solid lead as they navigate through the first sector with precision. The dynamics are shifting as pure Petuum gains momentum. Shell Gaming has successfully moved into 5 after overtaking Miss Stonedrix, who is now in 6th red. The two are engaged in a tight battle for that position. Meanwhile, Pure Petuum is making significant gains on Arayu serial, reducing the gap by 3.1 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions continue to change. Here Petuum is continuing to close in on Arayu serial, narrowing the gap to 2.6 seconds now. Lizardi Adha has successfully moved up to P30 after overtaking Wayne Tri 94. The race dynamics are intensifying as positions shift. Here Petuum has reduced the gap to Arayu's serial to 2.2 seconds, showcasing a strong performance as they navigate through the turns. Meanwhile, in the mid-pack, Sportscars has executed an aggressive overtake on Turboturtle, moving up into 5th position. The top 3 remain relatively stable, but there is noticeable tension as the AI cars approach a series of tight corners, which could lead to further overtakes. Kokubinity is currently in pursuit of Miss Stonedrix, reducing the gap to 4.4 seconds as they navigate through the track. Meanwhile, Greninja, from also No Name Racing, has successfully moved into 23rd position, overtaking V4L3 AA. In response, V4L3 A has climbed up to 24th, passing Obelixa Max in the process. The positions are shifting as the race progresses. Perpetuum has indeed reduced the gap to Array Serial by 2.1 seconds, indicating a strong performance in the latter part of the lap. Meanwhile, Serious Guy from Team No Name Racing has successfully executed an overtake on Obelix Amax, advancing to 28th position. The dynamics of the race continue to shift with these developments. Serious Guy is making significant progress, closing the gap to Perpetuum by 413.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Obelix Amax is also on the move, narrowing the distance to Serious Guy by 572.4 seconds. The battle for positions is heating up as Serious Guy continues to gain on Perpetuum. The dynamics indicate some intense racing ahead. Jazak72 has made a significant gain, moving up to 16 after successfully overtaking ST4 and BZ GT. Meanwhile, Serious Guy is actively closing in on Array Serial, reducing the gap by 2.8 seconds. The competition is intensifying as positions shift throughout the field. Serious from No Name Racing has made significant progress, reducing the gap to ST4 and BZA by 2.2 seconds. The battle for position is intensifying as Serious uses a strong pace to close in on SET4 and BZ, but the next few laps will be crucial as they approach the upcoming turns. Deplorable has experienced a significant setback, dropping to P21 after falling back 20 positions. Green Jib is currently closing in on Deplorable Apple, reducing the gap by 582.6 seconds. Meanwhile, ST4 and BDShare is also gaining on Array Serial, decreasing the distance by 470.6 seconds. The competition is tightening as these positions shift. Suzanne Greenberg is currently making significant progress, closing the gap to Hugger 3 by 584.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Serious Guy is also gaining on SET4 and BSJ, with a gap reduction of 543 seconds. The competition is tightening as these drivers push to close in on their opponents. All eyes are on the track as these positions evolve. Perpetuum is gaining on Deplorable Apple, reducing the gap significantly by 566.2 seconds. Funya Shell Gaming has successfully moved up to third place after overtaking Miss Stonedrex. Consequently, Miss Stonedrex has now slipped to fourth, having been passed by Suzanne Greenberg, who remains in fifth place. Fan BHJ has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Ryu Serial by 3.9 seconds. The pace is picking up as they approach the next corner. In the meantime, we have another battle unfolding further back in the field, where Drift King 92 is trying to fend off an aggressive move from Turbo Turtle, who is looking for a way past. The dynamics of the race are really heating up as we approach the halfway mark. Amy has advanced to position 15, after a successful overtake on the gentleman. Meanwhile, Deplorably Apple is making significant progress, reducing the gap to V43A by 3 seconds as they approach the next turn. The race dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change. Stephen Beats J is now just 3.5 seconds behind Arayu Serial, after successfully closing the gap by 2 seconds. The pace is increasing as Stephen Beats pushes harder, looking for an opportunity to overtake. Meanwhile, the rest of the field remains stable, with no significant changes in position among the top 5. The tension builds as Stephen Beats approaches the final corner of the lap. Deplorable is rapidly closing in on V43, reducing the gap to 2.1 seconds. The pace is picking up as they approach a tight corner. V43 takes the inside line, while Deplorable opts for a wider up. There's a clear focus on tire management as they navigate the turn. Behind them we have zigzagging through the midfield, maintaining their distance but keeping an eye on potential opportunities for overtakes. Up ahead, it looks like Deplorable is now just 1.5 seconds away from V43, indicating an aggressive push. The tension is building as they head into the straight. Will Deplorable attempt to move? N29 Kia has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Okayoki 3 from Racing Potatoes by 2.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Deplorable is also gaining on V43A, cutting the distance by 2.6 seconds. In another battle, Stephen Beats is chasing down Arayu Serial, closing in by 4.7 seconds. The race is heating up as the drivers increase their pace. Kokibinenity in the Maserati Ghibli S is closely tailing Suzanne Greenberg in the Lexus RCF, as they battle for 5th position. Both cars are showing strong performance, with Koki Unity looking to make a move on the inside. Meanwhile, Deplorable Apple has advanced to 22nd place after successfully overtaking V4L3, showcasing impressive speed and strategy. The race dynamics continue to shift as these drivers push their limits. Deplorable Apple is gaining on Greninja, reducing the gap to 3.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Zest 4 and BTJ is also making progress, closing in on Arayu Serial with a decrease of 2.4 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as both drivers intensify their pursuit. Suzanne Greenberg has experienced difficulties, dropping back to P23, a significant loss of 15 positions. Meanwhile, Miss Dondrex has made a notable advancement, moving up to P3 after successfully overtaking Funya Shell Gaming. Additionally, Bobado has gained ground and is now in P8 following an overtake on Arkayuka 3. The race dynamics are shifting as drivers jockey for position. Jasak 72 is gaining on Lord of the Jungle, reducing the gap by 592.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg is also making strides, closing in on Perpetuum with a reduction of 580.6 seconds. In a notable move, Koki Benenity has successfully overtaken Cat TV and has now secured the 3rd position in the race. Lord of the Jungle has significantly reduced the gap to Okayoki 3, now just 6.3 seconds behind. N29 Kia has successfully moved up to position 8 after overtaking Sir Ironbot. The dynamics are shifting as Lord of the Jungle continues to gain on Okayoki 3. Okayoki 3 has reduced the gap to Red Panama to 14.6 seconds, but has just lost ground, as Red Panama makes a decisive move to overtake and secure P12. Meanwhile, Amy has experienced difficulties and has dropped back to P26, losing 10 positions in the process. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly with these position changes. Just Jazik is currently in pursuit of Lord of the Jungle, reducing the gap by 42.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Buchizero from Team Quark Express is notably behind, but has made a significant effort to close the distance to Just Jazik by 575.6 seconds. The dynamic between these three racers is intensifying as Just Jazik continues to chase down Lord of the Jungle. Perpetuum is continuing to close the gap on B43 now down to 587.3 seconds. Meanwhile, One Serious Guy from Team No Name Racing has successfully overtaken Amy, moving up to P27. The competition remains tight as positions shift on the track. Bobardo in the Holden Commodore GTS 9 is currently locked in a tight battle with Marstondrex, who is behind the wheel of the Ford Mustang GT15, both fighting for 6. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg has made significant progress, moving up to P22 after successfully overtaking Perpetuum. In addition, S24 and BSJ is gaining on Araya Serial, closing the gap by 2.1 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for position soon. Zygoto 22 has significantly closed the gap on Perpetuum, now trailing by just 53.2 seconds. Bobardo has made an impressive move, advancing to 5 after overtaking Marstondrex. Meanwhile, Marstondrex has responded by overtaking Cat TV, placing himself in 6th too. The positions are shifting as the race progresses. September has experienced a setback, dropping from P2 to P11 after encountering issues. Araya Serial is making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Zygo 22, currently in P3, by 542.5 seconds. In a notable move, Hokibinity has successfully overtaken Funya Shell Gaming, and has now secured P22A. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions continue to evolve. Hokibinity is now just behind Haggard 3, with the gap reduced to 523.6 seconds. Meanwhile, One Serious Guy is also making progress, closing in on Set 4 and BZJ, with a gap of 551.2 seconds. Both drivers are showing strong pace as they pursue their targets. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for overtakes. Marstondrex has encountered issues, dropping down to P21 after losing 16 positions. Sirairumbot has successfully overtaken Cat TV, advancing to 5. Meanwhile, Cat TV has responded by passing Jasek 72, moving up to 6. Race dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change rapidly. Hokibinity is currently in pursuit of Haggard 3, effectively reducing the gap to 42.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Jasak 72 is far behind, but making an effort to catch Cat TV, closing the gap by 592.8 seconds. The race dynamics indicate that Koki Beninity is gaining momentum, while Huggard 3 works to maintain their lead. Overtaking may be on the horizon if Koki Beninity continues this pace. Lord of the Jungle is gaining on Okayoki 3 from Team Racing Potatoes, reducing the gap by 589.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Deplorably Apple is also making a move, catching up to Red Panama, with a reduced gap of 588.2 seconds. The competition is heating up as Lord of the Jungle continues to press forward, maintaining momentum in pursuit of Okayoki 3.ai. V4L3 A is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Greninjib by 593.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Arayo Serial has gained a position, moving up to P24 after successfully overtaking Est4 and Bizichtud. The race dynamics is shifting as these drivers push for better placements. Buchitsero has made significant progress, reducing the gap to just Jazik by 9.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg is also gaining on V43A, closing that gap impressively by 586 seconds. In a notable move, Deplorably Apple has successfully overtaken just Jazik, advancing to P14. Greninjeb is now just 31.40 seconds behind Naibe, making significant progress in closing the gap. Meanwhile, Just Jazik has successfully overtaken V4L3A and moved up into 15th position. V4L3A, despite losing that position, has responded by overtaking Naibe and is now in 16th place. The dynamics are shifting quickly as drivers jockey for positions on the track. Bobardo has successfully moved into P3 after making a clean overtake on Koki Beninity from Team No Name Racing. Meanwhile, Piapetum has climbed up to P20, overtaking Greninjeb in the process. The race is tightening up with these shifts in position. Hey, someone! Welcome back to the race. Automobile dashing away. We missed you zooming around here. Let's see if the AIs can give us a show worth your return. Enjoy the ride. Party popper. Sirerembot is gaining on Koki Benignity, reducing the gap to 46.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Zygo 22 is catching up to Grinningjip, now just 57.7 seconds behind. In a significant shift, Esteforn Biaziege is also reeling in Zygo 22, but has a considerable distance to cover, currently trailing by 551.6 seconds. Suzanne Greenberg is making significant progress, reducing her gap to V43A by 24 seconds. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is also closing in on Naibe from Team Still No Name Racing, cutting the distance by 2.3 seconds. Staythorn Beats A is not far behind, tracking Zygo 22 and decreasing that gap by 230 seconds as well. The competition is tightening up as these drivers push their limits. Suzanne Greenberg has made progress, moving up to 16 after overtaking V43A. Meanwhile, the Perpetuum has climbed to P19, successfully passing Naibe. Additionally, one serious guy is gaining on Arayu Serial, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds as they approach the next corner. Stacey Farm BJ is now just 1.5 seconds behind Zagota 22, after a strong sector time, showcasing impressive cornering skills. In the meantime, we see Car X3X making a move on Cara 12, successfully overtaking and moving into 4th position. The top 3 remain unchanged, but the battle for 4th is heating up as a 12 tries to regain its position. The gap between the leaders is stabilizing as they maintain their pace. Staythorn BHA has successfully closed the gap to Zyga 22 by 2.1 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for position. The distance between the two cars is now narrowing as we approach the next turn. Meanwhile, in the midfield, car number 47 from Team Alpha is making a move on car number 12, attempting to overtake on the outside line. The maneuver is tight, but it looks like car number 47 is gaining ground. In the front, Zygoto 22 remains steady, maintaining its pace whilst Esteforn Biazach continues to push hard. The dynamic of the race is shifting as the cars jockey for position. Arayu Serial has significantly closed the gap to Saint Thorn BZH by 11.5 seconds, indicating a strong push for position. Meanwhile, Red Panama is gaining on Lord of the Jungle, reducing the distance by 2.5 seconds, which could lead to an imminent overtake if the pace continues. In another dynamic, Suzanne Greenberg is closing in on Just Jazik, with a reduction of 2.1 seconds. All three drivers are showing competitive momentum as the race progresses. Just Jazik is making significant progress, reducing the gap to deplorable by 47.6 seconds. B4L3A is also gaining ground on Suzanne Greenberg, with a 14.4 second difference now. Meanwhile, Wunzirius Guy is closing in on Set4 BHJ, tightening the gap to 10.7 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting with these overtakes in play. September has significantly reduced the distance to Max, now with a gap of 372.7 seconds. The pressure is mounting as September continues to push hard. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack is maintaining their positions. But eyes are certainly on this upcoming battle for position as the race progresses. State-born Beats A is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Rayu Serial by 330 seconds. Meanwhile, 1999 Setembro is also gaining ground on Max, closing that distance by 2.3 seconds. Both drivers are showing competitive pace as the race continues. As the race progresses, Ms. Stoendrex is making significant moves, decreasing the gap to 1999 September by 349.3 seconds. Meanwhile, 1999 September is also gaining on Max, with a reduction in their distance by 2.1 seconds. It seems that Ms. Stoendrex is maintaining a steady pace behind 1999 September, who is actively closing in on Max. The dynamics between these three cars are becoming increasingly interesting as the race continues. Suzanne Greenberg has successfully moved up to 15th position after overtaking Just Jazik. Meanwhile, 1999 Setembro is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Max by 3.1 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for that position in the near future. Currently, Perpetuum is gaining on Just Jazik from Team S1s, reducing the gap to 2.2 seconds. In another battle on the track, 1999 Setembro is also closing in on Max, trimming the distance down by 3.1 seconds. The race remains competitive as both challengers look to make their moves. Nybe has successfully moved up to P19, executing a clean overtake on V4-3. The maneuver was precise, showcasing strategic timing as Nybe utilized the slipstream effectively. The gap between them is now increasing as Nybe pulls ahead. Bot is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Bobardo by 7.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Cookie Bananity has successfully moved into power after overtaking Bobardo, who is now dropping back in position. The race dynamics are shifting as Bot continues to close in on Bobardo, setting up a possible battle for position soon. Circuit 22 from Team Vanguard is making impressive progress, now just 17.7 seconds behind Brunijit. Bobardo has successfully moved into 7th place after overtaking Jasak 72. A 29 Ki from Team Also No Name Rain Racing has also gained ground, moving up to 9th place by passing the Gentleman. The Gentleman is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Red Panama by 10.2 seconds, indicating a strong pace. Meanwhile, Red Panama is also gaining on Jasak 72, slicing through the distance by 4.30 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as the Gentleman continues to close in, creating a competitive environment among the top contenders. Haha, JG everyone. That was an intense race. Way to go to the winners. Let's keep the good vibes going. Party popper automobile dashing away. Welcome back over Mysterioso. Party popper, glad to see you back in the fast lane with us while those AI race cars zoom by. Buckle up for some epic action. Racing car dashing the way.